Bonjour, Kinamaganine Ireland Adishnikas, and welcome to this overview of our Week 27 learning plan and announcements. We have a lot for you in today's episode. As always, we'll begin with the stream page with the easy contact information, including my Google Voice number. We now have a post up here with some information related to Mount Pleasant Middle School. As you're aware, we made a field trip there today to hear a little bit about their school and to take a tour. We'll be doing the same thing in just a couple weeks with Shepherd Middle School. We'll talk a little bit about this in just a moment. We'll start also with our newsletter. It mentions the field trip, the one we took today, and the one coming up on March 15th. There's also the student tips. This one focuses on a concern that we have with some of our students about being well rested enough. Student performance is enhanced when they come to school well rested. Good night's sleep allows students to stay alert, digest information, and complete tasks in a meaningful way that will continue to build the foundations of their learning. Also, a little note here that winter is generally still here. We've had some students who've needed to call home for dry clothes as some of the snow melts. It's always advisable for students to keep an extra pair of pants and socks and maybe shoes in their lockers in case they get wet. It'll save you the hassle of having to come to the school with dry clothes. We continue to mask in the classroom. The current policy is that all SCA students and staff will be required to wear face masks while at school, includes buses, hallways, classrooms, and PE class. Masks are not required while outdoors. Any updates to that policy will likely be sent to you from our front office and will be repeated in either these videos or via an email. You'll notice that there is a note that on March 14th, there is no school. And spring break ends with the completion of the third quarter on March 25th. So let's go back here to the information on Mount Pleasant. They have sent a parent video. It's about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and play it here to welcome our incoming sixth graders.
I'm Miss Weaver, the principal.
And I'm Mr. Walters, the acting assistant principal.
And we are so excited to see you in the fall here as sixth graders.
You'll get your schedules at orientation and you'll want to hold on to them because it has your locker number and combination on it, and you might need to know that for the first couple of weeks.
You will be assigned a locker to keep all your personal belongings in. There will be teachers in the hall to help you when you first get here. It might be hard at first, but with a lot of practice, you'll be really good at it. And always remember right, left, right.
Now that you have 7 classes, your homework will naturally increase, but if you spend your time wisely in class, you shouldn't have that much homework.
Since we don't have a homeroom teacher anymore, I recommend getting a binder with folders to keep organized.
Grades in secondary level are different than in elementary. Each trimester is made of 2 marking periods and an exam. One example is that trimester 1 is made of marking period 1 and 2 plus an exam.
In the hallways, you don't want to be all grouped up with your friends because you only have 3 minutes to get to class. And the very first week, the teachers will give you some time to get used to the school.
If you were ever absent or late, have your guardian contact the office and see what you missed with your classmates or teachers. One thing that we recommend your families do is to leave a like on the Facebook page and follow them because we leave a lot of important information on there. Another thing is Mrs. Weaver also sends out an email every week to your families to let you know all the important information at the middle school. The last thing is your teams will include WAGs, which is a week at a glance, to tell you what your week is going to be about.
There are two sixth grade teams, blue and yellow. You will learn what team you're in at orientation when you get your schedule.
So, in 6th grade, you will be taking electives. You will spend half the year in PE and half the year in computers. For your second elective, you can either choose a music elective, such as choir, band, or orchestra, or you can choose exploratory rounds, which will have health, art, and STEAM.
All right. Your students have received this parent letter from the Mount Pleasant Middle School. I have a copy posted within the Google Classroom. If you need another copy, I've scanned this one and I can get it to you. Obviously, some of you are still considering where you will send your student next school year. If you have any questions for me, I can forward them on to the appropriate person. You could contact individuals like Gloria, who works as part of our K-12 program. She would be more than happy to answer any questions as well. If you want to talk to the principal, that email is right there as well. Also, your student received this document. This document is to begin the schedule making process for Mount Pleasant Middle School. Obviously, if you're planning to go to Shepherd, this would not be a document that you need to return. Including math, there are 6 core classes. Students will then have a 7th class, which is lunch. And then an option, you can either choose the exploratory round where there's 3 12-week courses, including STEAM, art, and health, or just one of these. So if your students into music or choir, this would be the perfect option for you. These documents can be returned to SCA. I will make sure that they make their way to the appropriate people. Your student also brought home a document. I don't have a copy right here in front of me. It's a little bit thicker, a packet to be able to work with our Native advocates and tutors in the public schools. It's the same document, whether your student is going to Mount Pleasant or Beale or Renaissance or Shepherd. So if you want to fill that out, I will direct those to the appropriate people as well. That way students have access to those important resources right at the beginning of the school year. Again, this is all posted right here. You can rewatch this video. Sometimes the videos sound, and it was a very faint video, doesn't come through as well. So you could click right here. If you want me to send you a link to it, I can do that as well. Finally, let's wrap up by looking at our learning plan for this coming week. And as always, these are subject to change as things happen frequently, especially with the weather, as we all are aware of. Reading, we're going to be doing one of the assessment weeks with focusing on from snurfers to snowboards. Interestingly, I've seen a lot about this on social media, particularly on Michigan history pages. Students might be able to tell you a little bit more about that at the end of next week. Writing City, we're wrapping up Unit 3B. We'll have a free write on Friday, and then we'll be moving into Unit 4. Math, we're wrapping up our unit on adding and subtracting fractions, and we'll be moving into multiplying and dividing them by the middle of the week. Science, we're going to continue with our study of the solar system. Social studies, we're continuing the American Revolution. Math review and enrichment, one more of the spiral quizzes for this week. These are opportunities for students to show me what they know. I will be working with students throughout the month of March on any area that they don't score as well. So it's a chance for them to earn some easy 3s for the report card. And if not, then we will keep working with them. If you have any questions about areas that you can help them with, feel free to email me anytime. We're looking again also at some review of stuff from earlier in the year and continuing on with geometry. Tech is a pretty standard week. And with web, a lot of these things are online tools, so you can access them at home if you have a device. I strongly recommend students read for 20 minutes a day, but then also spend time on things like ST Math. Words Their Way is the required spelling. Students really should be making sure to put some time into that. It'll help with those spelling skills as they're moving off to middle school. Quill is a good place to practice some of our grammar tools. And the social studies spiral is based on individual students. Your student may or may not actually have that piece to do. You'll also notice some map skills is starting to show up in here. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in the next video. I'll be introduced to students over the course of the next week. It's another place to kind of prepare them for their next NWEA test. Legends of Learning will be based either on science or math. And if our citizenship continues our study of the people, places, and events that make up the US citizenship test. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at mireland@sagchipschool.net. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday and a great weekend, and I look forward to the next week. Have a minogijigad, minwa, bamapi.